Hey Capricorn, what's going on everybody? It's Am from CancerMoonsTarot, and I'm coming at you guys with your August 2022 tarot reading. How are y'all? I hope you guys are well. Without further ado, we're going to hop on into this and we'll see what's up. What do we got going on here for Capricorn? Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Coming up throughout the month of August 2022. Having a look here at the first card out, and what do we have? And we have here the Two of Cups. So, you could be connecting with a water sign such as a Cancer, Pisces, or potentially a Scorpio. Moving on to your next card, we do have here the Magician. Okay, I like where this is going. And then having a look here at the last two overall energies for your month ahead, we also have here the Eight of Pentacles, and we have here the King of Pentacles. So, let's go ahead and talk about it. Well, Capricorn, taking a look here so far at your August ahead, Two of Cups, Magician, King of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles. Now, with the Two of Cups showing up here with the Magician card, pretty good energy showing up here. The Magician is the energy of genuinely showing up. It's about making sure that if you want something to happen, you need to be present, you need to be invested into it, you need to be there. And I think that that's exactly what's going on here for you. Many of you guys are recognizing, if I want something to work here this month, Eight of Pentacles, King of Pentacles here too, I have to be willing to invest, I have to be willing to be grounded, and I have to be willing to take my right foot and step on forward. So I do feel like that Two of Cups showing up over here is about you connecting with something, definitely gaining a bit of a deeper bond with a certain thing in your life. Could be a person, could be about a job, could be about anything. But I do feel depth of bonds here. I do feel like you're going to be bonding with something much more and gaining a much more closer connection to something in your life, the more that you're showing up for it and the more that you're investing your work into it. Now, this could be a relationship, so you could be growing closer to somebody specific this month. For those of you that are in relationships, it could be a great opportunity. You know, the overall theme here could be that you're growing a lot deeper and more deeply connected with your romantic partner. For Capricorns that are dealing with careers, you know, this could be about being more deeply invested, rooted, and grounded in the type of career that you're doing so that you can really take it to the next level. For other Capricorns, it could just be about growing closer to your environment as a whole, especially if you felt very distant. You know, if you're a Capricorn that's always felt distant or always felt like you were the black sheep, you know, this is the energy of really starting to reconnect with people and be a part of your environment. And you're starting to see that the more work you're putting into this environment, the more awesome it is, the more abundant it is, the more enjoyable it is as a whole. So I do see that you are tapping in here to something and gaining much more of a closer type of bond. Let's go ahead and have a look here and see what's going to be going on in your surroundings. What's going to be going on surrounding Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus throughout August 2022. What's going to be going on in Capricorn surroundings? Having a look here at the first card out, and what do we have? And we have here the King of Cups. So King of Cups here, water energy, of course, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. There's a lot of compassion. I feel like a lot of compassion is coming from you specifically as well. You're very compassionate, you're very open, you're very loving this month. And I think that you're happy about that because you like being in that energy. And of course, when you're putting all this compassion and love out into your environment, it is coming back to you. So you seem to be very supportive and very loving of the people around you. We do have here a Ten of Swords though. So taking a look at what's going on in your surroundings, I do feel like this is coming after some sort of ending. So I do feel like, Capricorn, for you, something needed to be released that was holding you back from so much love and compassion. I feel like there was something that was involved in your life that maybe you felt was making you bitter. I don't know if it was holding on to like regurgitated. I don't think regurgitate is the word that I want to use. What's the word I want to use? Holding on to bottled up emotions, I guess. You know, so for a few of you guys, what may have needed to end was the energy of holding on to bottled feelings, bottled emotions. For other groups of Capricorns, it could have been specific people in your life that maybe you feel kind of dimmed your energy of being as loving and being as compassionate. You know, there was something here that I feel was dragging you down. And now that you are no longer restricted from that, you're definitely in a much better place where you feel like you can be in the position of so much love and compassion. Having a look at the next two cards, yeah, we got here a Three of Swords and we got here the Justice card showing up for your surroundings. So Capricorn, you know, you are surrounded by a lot of pain, but a lot of this pain is starting to be healed. With the Justice card showing up here with the Three of Swords, you know, it's representing that the pain that you've gone through, the pain that was undergone is now no longer what is going to be the center focal point of your life. No longer does this pain have you under any sort of spell. You're really starting to feel the balance here with the Justice card showing in. So I think that for your surroundings, guys, you're definitely in a position this month where after ending something, you know that you are in a better place mentally, physically, spiritually, and most importantly, emotionally. And it gives you the opportunity to be closer to the ones that you love, because no longer do you feel that weight bringing you down that's not putting you in a good place overall on an energetic level. So something here I do feel was a pretty big energy drain on you. Let's go ahead and grab some information about that. Let's see what's going on over there. What was this big energy drain that was on Capricorn? Tell me about whatever it is Capricorn was invested in or dealing with that came to an ending. Give me some information on this energy drain that Capricorn was dealing with. Taking a look at the first card out, we got here the Queen of Wands. Someone here was a very good speaker. They could be very influencing. This is an individual who really knows how to talk. They can be very moving, is what I feel here too. You do have a King of Swords. So not only was this a person who knew how to talk, but this was a person who I do feel was very determined. So you were around someone or something that was very determined here. And I think that the way they would talk, the way they would communicate, this would be an individual, who was very, very influencing. Looking at the last two cards we have here the Five of Pentacles and we have here the Nine of Cups. I kind of feel too like whoever this person was, they definitely dimmed you from being around whatever made you happy. You know, I feel like this person did a lot of isolating to you, Capricorn. I definitely pick up that vibe here with the Five of Pentacles of like this individual really isolated you from a lot. So it could have been a romantic partner you were dealing with, because, you know, sometimes, unfortunately, when we get in certain relationships, you know, if we're around partners who aren't happy with the people we're around, maybe in a form of compromise, we say, okay, maybe we won't hang around those types of people anymore, even though they weren't a threat to a relationship. But maybe you dealt with a partner who saw it that way. Now, keep in mind, that'll probably resonate to one Capricorn, but who this person could have been is this could have been a romantic partner, and your romantic partner here might not have been happy with your environment. Maybe this individual did not want you hanging around certain people, such as friends that you've known for years, because they felt threatened. You know, this is the energy where if somebody sees something they don't like, they're going to try to make sure they cast it out so that they could have you and all your attention. So you were dealing with someone here, Capricorn, who I do feel isolated you and took you away from a lot. And whether or not this was a person you were dealing with in love, or whether this was a friend, or whether this was your job, something here took you away from the environment that you really loved and cared for, and really took up a lot of your time and a lot of your attention. And now that you're aware of it, and of course now that no longer are you with this energy, you can see yourself reconnecting with your environment, showing up and regaining that deep bond you once had with them. But it's unfortunate because you feel like so much time was taken away because this person here did that. Now, I don't want to say, Capricorn, that this person had you under their spell, you know, but I do feel like that was this person's intention, to basically have a sense of control. You were dealing with somebody who wanted to control you here, and they wanted to control the choices you've made and who you were around and what it is you were doing. And I think that because they were very influential for a while, it worked until you started questioning more and more and more, why am I abandoning what I love, who I care for? Why am I allowing myself to be isolated from what I love and whom I care for just because somebody else tells me I should? So there's a lot of red flags that were starting to show. And as you became aware of those red flags, you did not want it to continue, you know? So I think that this person really put you through the ringer, but you're bouncing back here, which is overall good news. Let's go ahead and have a look here and see how you'll be feeling personally throughout this month. Well, first things first, love to see that. We got here the Emperor that just jumped on out. The Emperor is telling you you're the person who's back in control. You're back in the driver's seat of your life. No longer is anybody telling you what to do, Capricorn. You've regained your control. So you're definitely tapped back in here, which I love, okay? But how are my Capricorns feeling here personally throughout the month of August 2022? Moving on to the next card, we have here the Fool card. Very cool. And then looking at the last two final cards for you, we also have here the Death card, and we have here the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, so I think you've released a lot here, Capricorn. From what I could see for you, you've released a lot of pain, and I think it's a lot easier to release a lot of the pain that this individual caused or inflicted in your life when you recognize how they really weren't good for you and how they didn't do a lot of great things, and they honestly put you in a position that put you more in harm's way than in love's way, you know? So I think that it became a lot easier the more you realized how deceptive the energy you were dealing with was. and that helped you move on. Rather quickly, all the more. So I do see here, Capricorn, for your personal feelings, the Emperor, the Fool, the Death, the Queen of Pentacles. You know, Emperor card to the Fool card. I've got my energy back. I've got my control back, and I'm totally ready to put this person behind me. I'm not going to let anybody ever again stand in the way from what it is that I love, and I'm not going to compromise if another person wants to take away what I care about. You know, there's a difference between a genuine compromise, and then there's a difference from somebody who totally wants control, and that is not something you're willing to give up anymore. I'm not going to give up my control and my happiness and my free will and choices just because somebody else may not agree with them or like them. So Capricorns, that will never happen to you. This situation, you're making sure of it, will never happen to you ever again. You know, you got here the Death card. The Death card is you being sure that you see to it that this never happens again. You know, and taking a look at the Queen of Pentacles, that is the energy that's identifying that you're saying to yourself, I'm watching out for myself. I will make sure that I protect me from anybody who ever tries to have an idea like this again. So Capricorns, you're very much so in a very protective space here. I do feel like a lot of you guys are recognizing the situation that happened, how somebody here tried to take control. You see the person for who they are, for what they've done, and the pain all seems to go away here this month for you. It's like, now that I realize who they were, how they deceived me, and the things that they were doing, I just need to make sure that I never let that happen again. So it's kind of like a you live and you learn type of moment. You really learned here from this person, and you can definitely be sure that something like this will not be happening again for you going forward. But speaking of going forward, let's see what you can expect here throughout the rest of your August 2022. So what can my Capricorns expect going forward here throughout the rest of their August? Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. Throughout August 2022, what other information can they expect going forward here, please? Throughout the entire month of August. First card out, we got here the Eight of Swords. So the Eight of Swords is the energy of thinking. It could represent overthinking. It could represent a lot of thoughts kind of coming at once. So it could be a feeling that's like overwhelmed. You do have here the Seven of Swords as well. So I feel like you're going to find yourself thinking about this person and thinking about the deception that they caused. You know, it's the energy of just like, man, why did they do that? You know, you might be trying to find out the reasoning why this person acted and behaved the way that they did. And when you try to connect the answer as to how or why, you might find yourself down a rabbit hole. You might find yourself constantly looking for more answers and more answers. And Capricorn, one thing I'll say to you is that the more you invest in that rabbit hole, the more attached and invested you're still going to have with this person. You know, the more attached you're going to be to this connection. It's interesting, as I was talking about attachment, I suddenly felt pressure in my head, almost like a headache coming on. It disappeared very, very quickly, but that's giving me the energy of like, you will give yourself a headache here, Capricorn, the more you keep trying to look for the answers as to why they did what they did. When you look for their motive, when you look for their intentions, you're only going to find yourself furthermore attached to this energy. And if you want to be completely detached, I would just understand that I know what they did, but I don't need to know why they did what they did, because the more that I try to figure out that, the more I'm going to remain attached instead of detached, which is like what appears to be the goal, okay? And looking at the last two cards for you, we do got the Three of Wands, and we do got the Four of Cups. So Capricorn, looking at this for you of what you can expect going forward, you know, I think that there's going to be a massive part of you that wants answers, but at the same time, Four of Cups showing up in this situation, it's like I kind of don't want answers at the same time too. I just want to move on. So if you're really truly trying to release this person and everything they've done, I would say don't go down that rabbit hole. Don't try to get caught up in your head wondering why they did the things they did, because you're only going to find yourself furthermore continued to be attached to this situation. And if this is what you really want to release yourself from, kind of accept the fact that they did it because they did it for whatever reasoning or intention or motive they had, but realize that you'll never allow yourself to be put in a position like this ever again, and let yourself go back to the environment that you love and the environment that you were isolated from. Let yourself reconnect this month and really enjoy what you cared about in the first place, because I think you were really dealing with somebody here who pulled you away from a lot. Whether you were dealing with a partner who is just really jealous of your friends, jealous of your family, jealous of anybody who made them feel intimidated, I just feel like they isolated you from a lot of people in your life that you really cared about and a lot of situations you really cared about. I mean, you might even be dealing with a person here who didn't like the fact that you worked a certain type of career style or a certain type of job, and they said to you, yeah, don't worry, I'll provide for you. And even if you didn't want to quit your job, it was like they wouldn't take no for an answer. You know, it could even be that kind of thing here too. So, of course, Capricorn, do take what resonates to you, but, you know, you were dealing with quite the controlling and possessive energy. And it pulled you back from what you loved, which is unfortunate. So you definitely have the big opportunity here this month to reconnect with what you love without any sort of interference, okay? All right, Capricorn, let's have a look here at your overall outcome. What's going to be the overall outcome here, please, for the zodiac signs of Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus throughout August 2022. And that overall outcome is going to be the Ace of Cups. I like the Ace of Cups actually showing up here for you because it's that energy of love. And what you're going to have at the end of all this month, or at the end of this month overall, is that feeling of love. Remember how I mentioned with the King of Cups, you're getting back into a compassionate place because you were dealing with something and someone that was kind of limiting your ability to be compassionate and loving, because this person here was definitely draining you. You know, this individual could be identified as like an energy vampire. You know, this was a very draining person to be around who isolated you from a lot. Now you're in that space where you're starting to feel again. You're starting to tap into the love that you have for your environment, the people that you care about, and whatever you feel like you were taken away from, you're just so happy to finally feel connected and loved again and supported by that environment, and you're happy to love that environment as well. Looking at one more card, we also do have here the Five of Wands. Now, with the Five of Wands showing up here with the Ace of Cups for the outcome, it does say it might be a little bit of a struggle. It might feel a little hard to reconnect to an environment that you were isolated from, because maybe you haven't been around for a while, or maybe the other people that were in that environment didn't understand why you weren't there or why you were isolated. So it might be a little difficult and a little frustrating here to kind of explain what you went through, why you felt the way you felt, and maybe why you were more isolated. And to be completely honest, it's going to be one of those conversations that are going to require you to open up and to be completely blunt and transparent about what you went through. But Capricorn, I feel that so long as you're honest with what you've went through with maybe people that you haven't been around or people you've been isolated from, they're going to be very understanding here, okay? So Capricorns, what I'd say here for you is that if you were dealing with a controlling person here, and that absolutely resonates with you, and this controlling person isolated you from people that you loved and cared about, I would say just be honest with them about what you went through, be 100% transparent, tell them the whole entire story, and I think they're going to support you no matter what. It's going to be hard, it's going to be frustrating, you know, having to deal with all these feelings, because there might even be a part of yourself that feels like, man, why the heck did I let myself get fooled by this individual, you know? You might feel certain types of resentments to yourself for letting this individual do what they did. But Capricorn, you were connecting with somebody who is very manipulative, somebody here who is very, very much so a smooth talker. And it wasn't something that was intentional. You didn't intentionally try to isolate from individuals or intentionally try to be controlled. You just dealt with somebody here who was good at that, and it's not your fault. So what I would say here is try to be as open and transparent as possible with people around you about what you went through, and everything's gonna be okay. You know, it might be frustrating, but release any sort of resentment you hold against yourself, because you were not the person in the wrong here. All right, Capricorn. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. I am very well aware, though, that this may not be your story. So if this is not your story, no worries, guys. Tune in next time. Maybe there will be a better message here for you. But for Capricorns that did deal with this, I'm truly sorry. You know, I've seen situations like this occur way too many times in my life with people that are surrounding me, and I understand it wholeheartedly. You know, everything's gonna be okay here. The best thing is that you're reconnecting with what you feel like you've missed out on, and you have this energy draining person or individual no longer on your back. You're really ready to reconnect with the life that you love and the environment that you care about, and nothing here is going to stand in your way, and that's what's beautiful. So Capricorn, love that for you. Thank you for being here. If you're new, please do consider subscribing. Once again, if it's not your story, tune in next time or check out any other awesome tarot readers on the YouTube platform. Much love to you, Capricorn, and have yourselves a good one. Peace.